something I realized after years and years is a message that women do not get, that they're not given this message, and they really should because it's a very helpful message, is that a message of financial intelligence would be a good message for women to get that they don't get. They definitely don't. They are not sent that message. I don't even know how much easier my life would have been. I mean, I have some idea how much easier my life would have been if I had, well, you know, yeah, you can focus on your personality. It's a good thing to do. But if I had focused on being financially solvent, I would have had so far fewer people calling me crazy, and just kind of being able to push me around. I didn't know. I thought, you know, once I was in the hospital, I thought, all right, well, wow, there must be something really, really wrong with me, and I just kind of like, you know, just sort of like tore my personality apart, trying to figure out what was going on, what's wrong with me, trying to like fix whatever it was that was so horrible about me that I had to end up in the hospital. Even though I had asked to be in the hospital, like once I was there, this is like when I was like not quite 18, right? Once I had asked to be there because I could feel like, you know, I had some trouble, was feeling kind of like things were not really quite the way you would hope they would be, like with my perceptions of things, and just like had a really serious culture shock from having been away as an exchange student for almost a year. It was not something that needed to take over my life, but it did, right? It did, because the message I got as soon as I was in the hospital was, there's something wrong with you, something wrong with you. And that was really hard, and it kind of took over my life for a long time, and I'm still dealing with it, right? Still deal with it, because I have a psychiatric history, you know, that I have to deal with over and over and over again, you know, and I try to get the good things out of it in terms of getting help and support when I need it, but it just devastated my life, you know, because I didn't think I could do anything, and also it just never occurred to me that I could just, I mean, I wasn't like a spendthrift, you know, I don't have any credit card debt. My parents, when I was kind of just starting out on my own, I guess in my late 20s, were like, well, you shouldn't get a credit card because, you know, it's the temptation for someone who doesn't have a lot of money to buy things on credit is a significant temptation, and you don't want to end up with a lot of credit card debt. So, although, I mean, they were a little harsher than they needed to be in terms of like drilling the idea into my head that I was incompetent, to say the least. You know, but I think that happens with a number of parents, especially with the pharmaceutical industry just kind of pandering to everybody's dysfunction to try to sell drugs, right? So but then the thing is, you know, once a set of parents have spent enough years saying everything the kids, you know, says or thinks is crazy, which my parents did when they felt like it, right? As a form of like a power dysfunction dynamic within the family, which is not unusual at all, right? I mean, there are parents who just feel threatened by having their kids demonstrate capabilities, and even though they may be proud of them, they still may also just feel like they want to be the grown-ups. They want to be the ones who are, you know how to do everything, while the kid doesn't, no matter how old the kid gets. But then, of course, it's very inconvenient, because then you've got this 30-year-old kid, you know, feeling like she or he can't do anything for himself or herself, you know, and that gets to be expensive after a while, right? It gets to be expensive. But you brought used to a certain extent parents who have those kids living at home at that age who have you know taken the easy way out with every type of conflict by just saying the kid is crazy, you know, are setting themselves up for a financial burden when the kid, you know, just has no confidence in his or her abilities, you know, as an adult. Anyway, a message that should be sent to women, which is not over and over and over again, is try to save money, you know, and think about taking care of yourself financially, and see and understand that is an important signpost for many people in terms of whether or not you are sane. Probably shouldn't be that way, but that is, you know, it's you can just kind of not have a lot of financial skills. It doesn't even mean that you try to spend a lot of money, or are trying to be dependent on other people. It just doesn't occur to you that that's an important thing to be able to do. I think most men do get that message, really, much more than women do. They understand that it's part of the culture, like all around the world. If you can take care of yourself financially, far fewer people are going to call you crazy and give you a rough time. Very important, very, very important. And women do not get that message enough. They get the message that you got to work on your personality. You know, what is that really? It's sort of, you know, everyone should work on their personality, but everyone should also work on, you know, their finances and figure out how to manage them, because that allows you to be your own person, and kind of everything else doesn't, you know?